All right, team. So today we're going to be doing a trans flush on a Sion TC 2009. I'm going to share everything you're going to need: ratchet, socket, an Allen key. It's a 10 millimeter. Do a socket extension, breaker bar possibly, torque stick. Now for the Sion TC, it's recommended the Dexron VI, which is this one here. It should take about 3.8, 3.7 quarts of transmission fluid, but what we're gonna do, we're gonna drain it out and then we're gonna measure it just to make sure. So let's go ahead and get started. So first things first, you wanna check the transmission fluid, see where it's at. Dirty, clean that off. So the transmission dipstick is right next to the battery. Pull that out. Now, I don't know if you can see it, but it is full, but it is pretty dirty. So this is why we're doing this today. Like a almost purplish color. It should be more pink. Now I already ran the car for about 5-10 minutes just to make sure it gets all warmed up and it's at operating temperature. So now we'll just go to the bottom and get the catch can under it and start undoing the bolts. All right, team, so here we are under the car. This is the driver's side front tire. So that's the front of the car. Here's the transmission. So we're gonna be removing these bolts here, going all the way around. Those are 10 millimeters. And then this Allen key here, that's another 10. So we'll go ahead and start first, undo this and get everything to go into the catch can. And then once that's all done, we'll go ahead and start undoing the bolts and then start pulling this down from there. So we'll go ahead and get this going. Obviously you want to make sure that that's ready, but as you can see, if we're cracked doing this, now you see how dark this is. It should not be that dark, nowhere near it. Well, didn't mean to do that, but it is what it is. Just keep letting that going. Until it stops dripping, and then we're gonna start taking off the other bolts. All right, as you can see, it's almost done draining. Now we don't have to wait for it to be completely done, since we are gonna be removing this so we can change out the filter that's on the inside. So let's go ahead and get this drain plug bolt back on. Just like the oil pan, you don't want to overdo it, just enough, snug it. Clean this off. Here we go. Now that's done. We're gonna go ahead and take off these 10mm bolts here. So first we're gonna go ahead and start on this side. Get these out. Now, obviously, power tools make this job faster, but I do like just using regular hand tools. So you guys get the idea. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the rest of these bolts off, and then we'll be back once I get it all off and I can show you the inside. So here's the pan right here. Got that out. Let's go come to here. Here's what it looks like. This is the trans filter right here. There's 3 bolts, 10mm. Have to undo those for us to be able to get that off. And I did leave the catch can right here under because it is still transmission fluid that's leaking from here. So let's just go ahead and get this undone. Just crack them loose, and then you can do it all by hand. One. Two. No. There we go. 3. And just grab it, pull it down. Just like that. And again, another reason why we left the catch can right there. Alright, as you can see, here's the old one. See all that dirty, gunky stuff on the inside. There's the new one. So you want to make sure that they all match up. And there's a gasket on the old one here. And make sure you peel that off and get the new gasket. Anytime you take this off, you want to go ahead and make sure you get a new gasket on there. So here are the magnets, all that gunky, sludgy particles that are there. So we're gonna go ahead and clean this up, make sure it's all nice and good and everything before we go ahead and put it back in. All right, so here we are, nice and clean. There's the old gasket there, just peeling it off. Like I said, you want to replace that. You see here, it's all around it, it's cracking and breaking. So you want to make sure like it matches up with the new one, which it does. You just put it on here like this. Just making sure it's all lined up, which it will be. So what we'll do is get the bolts in here to hold it in place. But for now, we're gonna go ahead and get this new filter in. Now there on the old filter, there is an O-ring just here. You wanna make sure that that came out with it. If it is still stuck in there, you wanna make sure you get it out, otherwise the new filter isn't gonna go ahead and stick in there well. So also you wanna go ahead and lubricate that a little bit. So obviously we're gonna be using transmission fluid, just to kind of get that good seal on there, just kind of how like we do with the engine oil filter. So let me go ahead and get this out of the bag here, and then get us under there and get us all taken care of. All right, so I did lubricate the ring. We're gonna go ahead and put this back on. Now here's the hole where you're gonna go ahead and put the part that has the O-ring in. Just line it up and push up until you hear that snap. Then get one of the bolts in, hold it in place. And do the other two. Just like that. Snug it up. Now we're gonna go ahead and tighten those up. Snug it tight, just like that. There we go. Now that's on, so we're gonna go ahead and get the pan back on here now. Tighten down the screws, torque them, make sure they're good, and then we should be all set to start adding. All right, we're back down here at the bottom. As you can see, put the bolts in, so we're gonna hold the gasket in place. Basically the four corners. So let's go ahead and line this up. once you get one to thread in, it'll be a lot easier to get the rest on. All right. All right, team, so now they're all snugged up. The torque spec for these are 22 pounds. Currently, my inch-pound torque stick is stopped working. Had it for a while, so snugged them up as tight as I could without stripping the bolts or anything like that. So now they're tight on there. So now we'll go to the top, start filling it up. Should take, like I said, take 3.7 quarts, but we do have a dipstick, so we'll be able to measure that out. So let's go back up to the top and take care of that. All right, so the trans dipstick is right here, pulling it out. Getting the funnel in. Obviously, I'm going to be holding that. Now, again, the trans fluid, like I said, Dexron VI. And just slowly pour it in. And like I said, 3.8 quarts, so almost 4 quarts. This is actually 4 quarts. That should be it. Get this up. Bottom. Trans dipstick back in. Looks like there was some leakage here. So I am gonna go ahead and clean this up a little bit before I start the engine. It's gonna be kind of hard to tell if anything's leaking, if there is some fluid here. Go. So now we'll go in, start the car, let it run for a few minutes. Once it gets to operating temperature, check the level and make sure we're good. So let's start her up. All right, now it's running. Clean it off. Make sure it goes all the way down and then pull it back up. And it's right at the hot line. All right, now we'll go down and check to make sure nothing's leaking. Looks like it's all good. Obviously, after this, you want to go ahead and take it for a drive. Let it go through the gears. But you should be good. So if this video helped you guys out at all, please give me a thumbs up. Also consider liking and subscribing if you're new. Try to put out different videos on different vehicles as often as I can. But yeah, that's pretty much it, team. So if any questions, comments, concerns, leave them down in the comments. And then I'll see you guys on the next one.